Yeah, so before the last album, I was reading about how you did quite a lot of demoing before you went into the studio. How did that kind of affect the process compared to the first one? Was that quite different?
Yeah, it was, because with the first one it was just like just going in the studio with my guitar, with the tunes, not knowing like anything like what they'd sound like after, and just like we just put vocals down and guitar and then just worked on it from there. Or we made a beat that kind of went with the tune, and then put the vocals and guitar down and then just layered the songs up to see what they turned out into. And then with the last album, because me and Jack made demos of them, we already kind of knew what the beats were. We kind of like put all the parts the time before we'd made in the studio. This time we made all the beats in the demo, so the studio process was more just like making everything that we'd done sound better and just adding a few extra things that we didn't think of and stuff like that.
So how close were the final tracks to those original demos that you brought in? Were they quite...
There's a bit of change, but I mean, they're not a million miles away. Like they don't sound like something that you'd put out into public consumption, because they're very much like a sketch pad of what you're doing, and neither of us know how to use like proper. But we did it all on GarageBand, and we're just kind of making it up and don't really know what we're doing properly. So it's not something that is at a level that you could put out, but it sounds pretty close to. It's like a rough sketch of what was going to be.
Yeah, so that probably helped quite a lot then when you went to the studio for them making the final tracks. Was it almost like a blueprint at all, or is that kind of what it was like?
Yeah, it was definitely a blueprint, like the demos, yeah. Yeah, and it was a lot of fun making them, and like it was just something to go into the studio with, and I thought like they might change a lot, but they didn't actually change that much. They just we just made them like extra special, like in the studio, with the little things that you do, and recording everything properly.
And that second album, a lot of it kind of centers around revolution. So I was wondering, what's the biggest sacrifice you've made for music? What's exactly something that ties into revolution to sacrifice?
The biggest sacrifice I've probably made for music is just spending time on the road, not with my son. Probably is probably the biggest sacrifice. But I mean, it's always been. I've had a lot of support from my family and his family, his dad's family, and he's always, had a great time no matter where he was, and I think always wanted me to. He's been just as excited as I have about everything that's been happening. But yeah, I suppose that's the only thing that's probably what I'd say is the biggest sacrifice. And just like putting yourself into music, because it's a bit of a treacherous path. You don't really know what's going to happen. You don't really know what's going to happen in a couple of years' time. So you probably sacrifice security of knowing what you're going to be doing.
What keeps you going on the road then when you're away from home? Is there things that kind of help? Or?
Like a lot of, I don't think there's a lot to like about being on the road. Like you're out with your friends, you're doing the things that you always wanted to do. Meeting new people, going to new places. I think, it just, and you're just carrying on the journey that you've kind of been set on. So I think just seeing what happens next and what the next place is like, it's just exciting to arrive somewhere and not know who's going to be there and what it's going to be like. So I suppose excitement.
Another thing with the album, along with like the theme of revolution, which kind of ties quite a lot of the tracks together, there's a lot of different genres on it. You kind of play about and experiment a bit in like pop and kind of punk, and there's other things that all come into it, and rock as well, obviously. Was it ever difficult finding the balance in the album of all the different genres of tracks?
I think, I don't know, I kind of like something that's a melting pot. I like an album that's got loads of weird different things going on in it. So I think maybe it'd be like, I think I'd probably find it harder if there wasn't that many things in, because that's kind of like how the blueprint of I like an album to be. So I think what balances it is that there's like always something interesting going on lyrically, and you've got a vocal that kind of ties it all in together, but I like to kind of mess about with all different genres and stuff like that.
And in terms of the writing process, like you're going amongst different genres, how much of what's happening in the world at the moment, like socially and politically, affects what you're writing? Is that something that has quite a big influence and a big impact? Or
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think it can't like help but affect your whole view of, you know, what you put into your writing. It is a reflection of everything that goes on around you, from what's going on around the world and to your relationships, to the things that you read and the things that you watch. Yeah, I think that like what's going on around kind of informs the political side of what I do.
how effective do you think music is? It's like a tool for like changing people's minds and influencing like people's minds. Like in terms
I think
of
it can
politically
be.
and spreading the word.
Yeah, I don't think it's like it's not going to change everyone's mind, or not that it has to change people's minds. Or I think like I like what Nina Simone said, that it's an artist's job to reflect the times, and that can be in like loads of different ways. But I think for some artists it is about speaking about what's going on. And what did you ask me again?
It was how effective do you think music is for like a
How
tool for
effective?
changing?
Yeah, like I mean, like it has like affected me before. Like that's what I was gonna say, that like the first song that really stopped me in my tracks and made me listen and write every lyric down was "Working Class Hero" by John Lennon, and I was like, wow, that really affected my consciousness and like made me think about like class issues and stuff like that. It was like a class analysis in a song, and I'd never heard anything like that before. And you know, for a song to make someone stop and do that is, I think, quite powerful. So I think you know, it can be really effective.
Yeah, you mentioned there what Nina Simone said about things being timing. It's an artist's job to reflect the times, but just something you definitely do with the album. Another part of that is obviously yesterday you released Hallows Eve on Halloween.
Yeah.
I'm really interested by that song because it kind of ties in a little bit more extreme than the songs that you've been putting out lately, where they're a bit more stripped back, and like the one yesterday especially, really stripped back. What kind of advantages do you think come from taking a song down to just, you know, the guitar and you singing like that?
I mean, some people like it like that, don't they? I mean, I suppose it's stripping a song back to its bare bones means that it's just out there and it's exposed, and if it's a good song, then you'll be able to tell. And you know, it takes away the production as much as in other songs, but yeah, I mean, and sometimes you're just in the mood to just listen to an acoustic song and someone singing, and it's nice to just have different kinds of songs in your kind of collection that you can, you know, you've got one that's like this and you've got one that's like that. You're not just doing the same kind of thing all the time. So, and I just and it's the same with like lyrics and stuff like that. It's like that one's a kind of a love song, and it's nice to do a love song in between all the angsty like complaining about the world stuff.
A lot of the songs start off like that, where it's just you with a guitar, you know. Is that how a lot of them begin life?
A lot of them, yeah.
Would you ever do like an unplugged album or something where you take like songs you put in and kind of strip them back down, or is that not something?
Possibly, yeah. It depends depends what happens next, I suppose, but yeah, definitely. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out, yeah.
I wanted to ask about Trouble Every Day as well, which obviously like updated it to like the modern day.
Yeah.
What was that process like, and where did that idea kind of come from to do that?
Well, Jack played me the song, and I was like, "This is boss! Like, we should cover it," because it was like the lyrics sounded so relevant. But then when we got in the studio, we were going in the studio the next day to do it, and I was like, it's relevant, but it's not quite like right now. So I just thought I'll change the last few verses, and just sat and thought about what was actually going on and what the stuff that I'd seen happening through the lens of the media and stuff like that. And I just thought then it'd be cool to use like the 50-year-old song to say that the media still isn't serving us like 50 years later.
Yeah. And Cass got another single as well. It was the last one that came out off the last album, Paradise, but it's the first one we put out this year. I love the guitars in that song because it's so like psyche and like kind of very like 60s psychedelic.
Yeah.
When you're in the studio, do you experiment around a lot with like guitar tones and stuff, or was that all kind of quite laid down, the musical kind of, obviously you had the demos, but...
That's one of the things that you do, like that, you know, you kind of get something in the demo, but when you go into the studio then you do like spend more time to make sure that the tones are exactly right and stuff, and kind of, yeah, that's one of the things that is a bit slapdash on the demo, but then when you get in the studio, it's like mess about with it until it sounds really good.
Yeah, is that just a lot like fiddling about with like all the settings and stuff on it, or how do you go about like capturing exactly the tone that you want? Right.
Well, it depends. Well, to be honest, a lot of the guitars that we recorded on this album were just plugged straight in, so we didn't even mess with amps or anything at all. But it was, I don't know, it's what my guitar sounds like. And then it's also working with James, who's the producer as well. He's like really good at like changing the guitar tones and stuff, and know exactly what's going to sound good on record as well. So it's kind of like a thing that you sit there and work out together, which is the best.
To take it back to Paradise once more, they will ask for the video for that, which is kind of like this kind of fuck you take down to like capitalism.
Yeah.
Were the director on that, or was that your idea to have the kind of style of that, all that kind of imagery and stuff?
Yeah, well, we've done quite a lot of videos, like kind of homemade. I mean, we've worked with friends or people that were just starting out in the kind of video world, and yeah, it's kind of like we worked with a guy who helped us with the ideas and stuff, and had a boss camera and came down and recorded us. But it's one of those things as well. It is like you work as a team and like try and work out what shots are going to look good. And actually, Daisy from our office at Ignition came up with the visuals for that one. You know, the background stuff, because usually I do all the visual stuff, but she came up with that one. So gotta give Daisy credit for that as well.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I've got one question left to finish up on.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, when you're playing music live to a crowd, which emotion are you trying to most strongly evoke from the crowd and get out of it? Or what effect do you want your music to have?
That's a good question, because sometimes like everyone listens so intently, and then you kind of want them to jump around, but then again, if it was like, if everyone was like having too much fun and chatting, they wouldn't be able to listen to what you were doing. So I don't know, you kind of just want people to be enjoying themselves. I think that's the main thing, and I think they can get whatever they want from it, I suppose. Sometimes I have a tendency to make people cry. I'm trying to not do that, but yeah, I think as long as they're getting something good from the music, then I don't mind what they do.
Yeah. That's quite a nice little time. So
yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Nice one.